begins right now. Today, tomorrow begins right now. Today is a day, someday rise into something tomorrow will bear the fruits of your labor. It must start with action today if tomorrow's ever going to have any bearing of light to it. Make it a priority, a non-negotiable in your life, and hold a constant vision of what it is you want to achieve, and go all out. Find a way to win in spite of the setbacks, in spite of the disappointments, in spite of your failures. You will fail your way to success. You have a great life in front of you, but your great life is in front of you. It's not behind you. What you did back there was learn the lessons to get you to where you are at this particular moment right here. People go through their lives without knowing what it is they want to do, what they want to accomplish. So know what your mission is. Know what your intent as the commander of your life. Know what your intent is, and then fight with everything you've got to win.
Woo! Rise and shine. Another beautiful, blessed, and grateful day. Where are we at? It's Friday? Friday, the end of this month is coming up, October 25th. I'd love to see it. JoJo, Johnny, Cedric, Dreamers, how are we feeling coming into the day? Yes, we've had some meetings coming into the day. Absolutely. The growth continues. Super excited to be on here with the fam. You already know. And today, I want to get into a really great topic. I've got 5 pieces to really get ready before the new year. And I can tell you, I've seen so many individuals apply these 5 pieces, and even for myself. So trust me, you're going to get a ton of value coming for today. And most importantly, I see the growth. I see the elevation. All of us are getting in position coming into 2025. So let's go ahead and dive into the day. Let me get IG tapped in, and let's see the gratitude. What's everybody grateful for coming into today? A lot of abundance. I'm seeing some crazy quantum leaps. Shout out to JoJo, record-breaking months, absolutely off the walls. I love to see it. Cedric, yes, we were talking about it earlier. New levels on the way. Johnny, Dreamers, let's go. Here we go. Quantum leaps are here and on the way. Fourth quarter mentality. We're getting a little bit of Kobe today. Fourth quarter mentality. Here we go. This is it. This is what separates, being an athlete. For my athletes in here, you already know how crucial it is to really get in tune and tapped in for the fourth quarter. While many are tired, the first 3 quarters, so many have been going hard. So many have been putting in some time. But this is what really separates, I'm telling you, those that are ready to go ahead and experience serious levels coming into the end of the year and coming into 2025. Grateful for the event I was invited to. Can't wait to share. Yes, drop some gems. Let us know how the event went. I know you've been able to get around some absolute powerhouses in your industry, and that's what it's about. You've been doing the work, compounding it, journaling the vision, and it's not a surprise why so many things are coming up. Great for the team. Amazing results. Yes, it is Sunday. Oh, let's go. I can't wait to hear it. Samara, what's happening? Love it. Here we go. So grateful for a lot, fam. You already know we've got our alkaline, for God to be alive, for the family, for all of the things that we're learning. I've been such a sponge over these past couple months, just like all of you. And there's always a point in time where I've noticed over the years, everybody, you start to see a couple different patterns, right? Success leaves clues. And when you really just start to get around those that are winning and vibrating at high frequency, you start to see this is not as crazy as most people think. I've seen so many that are successful that they might not speak the best. They might not look the greatest, but they're achieving greatness. And why is that? A big piece of this has to do with just belief, confidence, knowing that they can go out and service the masses. So this is exactly what I want to go ahead and get into for today on really mastering what it is going on up here first, okay? So 5 pieces to go ahead and dominate the fourth quarter. Number 1 is going to be this. We're talking about purpose. I want to help everybody get some clarity for today, okay? 1 is going to be purpose. If I were to ask everybody this question, when you think about purpose, what is the first thing that comes to mind when I ask you that question? Purpose driven. You know, they've actually got an entire book written about it called Purpose Driven. I'd love for you guys to go ahead and check it out. It's definitely in my top handful. But inside Purpose Driven, he talks about a couple different things. Okay. The first thing he talks about is this. He has a complete diagram on how he breaks down what happens when we start to develop a purpose and how life begins to shift. And I'll give you guys the diagram right now. I don't know why it's not letting me share my screen, but I'm gonna type it in the chat so you guys can get an idea. Okay. Imagine a diagram, and we're gonna start from the bottom up. And the first piece, the core, when you think about a giant oak tree, a huge, powerful tree that can withstand hurricanes, what is the most powerful part of that tree? Let me know. Is it the branches or is it the roots that's down below? You tell me. What is the most powerful part of this tree that holds it in place, that locks it in? It's the roots, right? So I want to go ahead and get into the roots. And the roots of our life is our purpose, right? They say that there's 2 days that we're born. The day that we actually come into this life and the day that we actually realize our purpose, what it is that we're here to do. Deanne, let's go. Aurelio, good to see you. Love it. So purpose, okay? When the purpose is found, here's what ends up happening. Imagine this diagram. Purpose is on the bottom, the roots. Second, guess what changes when the purpose is started to get clear? The priorities begin to shift. The priorities, meaning, for some of us, we're used to going out. We're used to hanging out with friends. We're used to doing a lot of different things. Now, there's nothing wrong with any of them. But I can tell you right now, when the purpose really starts to get clear, the priorities change. I'll tell you what happened for me. When I was in college, right, 30K in debt, I had no job. I was getting out, and I got an email that said I literally had 6 months to start paying my loans back. Well, my sister actually passed from cancer. At 28 years old, life was snatched in a second. So it taught me a lot. The biggest thing, that time doesn't wait on anybody. But I can tell you, shortly after that, I started to see that if I don't go out and actually go after the things that really light me on fire, I'm going to get to a point where I might never even get a chance to do it. And I'll give you the moment when I really found my purpose. Okay, I'll give it to you literally one of the moments where it really happened for me. You ready? When I was in college, how many of you guys had to do community service in college? You guys ever had to do volunteer hours? Drop it down below. I had to do 80 hours. And now looking back at it, I'm like, thank goodness that I didn't have to do it. I got the opportunity to do it, because truth be told, at the beginning, I was frustrated. I was literally about to graduate. I'm like, man, I waited all this time. Now we're going to crunch 80 hours. And it could have been doing anything. I could have been freaking sweeping the road, picking weeds. So at the beginning, I did that, right? Because my school is an ecological school for those that are out in Florida. And I went out to a couple of eco preserves and I literally picked weeds. I trimmed plants. I gardened. I did some actually pretty cool things. But during the second, I did 40 hours there. I was like, you know what? 40 hours left. I want to switch it. I want to do something completely different. And I remember I'm looking down the list at the different things you can do for the volunteer hours. And I saw nursing homes. And I remember watching a YouTube video where Tony Robbins talking about, or no, it was Ed Milet. Ed Milet, he was eating dinner with one of his mentors, right? And he's eating dinner and he's just complaining. He's so upset about life. And he's sitting there complaining to his mentor. And he says, Ed, you're telling me right now that you can't find anything to be grateful for. He's like, no, I got nothing. I'm so frustrated. I have so much going on right now. I have nothing. And as they're sitting, literally, they're sitting eating dinner, right? And an old man and his wife, they go by in a wheelchair. And the old man is literally pushing his wife right by their table as they go to sit down behind them. And they're just silent for like 30 seconds. And 30 seconds goes by. And the mentor tells Ed, he's like, yo, you see what just happened? He's like, they clearly have cancer. You're telling me right now you can't find anything to be grateful for? And I believe sometimes it really takes moments like that to just put things into perspective. And here's what happened to me, right? I went to a nursing home and I literally had a question. I went around, I asked every single person that I went into their room. You know what my question was? Rocking the Elvis, you already know. I asked every single individual the same question. I said, if you could go back in time, what is something that you would have liked to do? And I promise you, every single person, they had an answer. Some of them said, I wish I would have committed to singing. I wish I would have went all in gymnastics. I wish I would have stuck to sports. I wish I would have went after a lot of the ideas that I had in my mind. I had a lot of really cool inventions, but I never let them out. I wasted so much money on things that didn't even really matter. And all that really matters to me now is family, experiences, being able to share just a piece of my time with somebody else. So I can tell you right now, it gets to a point in life where even if we wanted to, we're not going to have the opportunity to do the things that we desire to do right now. For some of you, let me know. Drop your bucket list if you guys were to think of a couple. If you were to give me 3 to 4 to 5 things off your bucket list, let me know. Drop a note. I want you to think big. What are some things? Is it flying out of a plane? Is it going to Dubai? Is it going to Greece? Is it skydiving? What are some things that you would really love to do on your bucket list? This is, if you've never seen the movie Bucket List, this is kind of where I'm getting this from. Because when you know the end game and first, the things that we want to experience, the lives that we want to go ahead and give back to, our family that we want to help. You know, for me, I want to take my mother all around these different countries, take her to different beaches, experience exotic sunsets from her. That's some of my bucket lists. These are things that drive me, that fire me up every single day. I want to make my sister proud. I want to be on stages impacting millions of lives. I want to literally feel her embodying that energy, sitting there right there with me, just smiling, clapping, knowing it was always going to happen. This is part of my bucket list. Retiring my family, absolutely. Literally paying off a handful of their mortgages. Hey, guess what? You don't have to worry about it anymore. Don't sweat it. I got it. New York Times bestseller. Yes, believe it. The books are already being done. Swimming in Mediterraneans, going on Olympic marathons. Yes, retiring the dad, telling he's proud of me, spending time with your grandma. I love it. This is huge. This is part of, I'm telling you, this is all part of the purpose. Because with the purpose, guess what? All of these things I can promise you will get checked off the list. It happens naturally. It's a byproduct, right? Making money, materialistic things is nothing but a byproduct of service. Jim Rohn, that's not me, that's Jim Rohn. Service to many leads to greatness. Okay, so number one is going to be purpose. When we find out our purpose, and here's what happened to me for my purpose. As I started asking all of these individuals, I started to notice a couple different things. Getting out of college, how many of us have noticed people that never defined their dreams? They had no idea what they wanted to do. And that was me. I knew I wanted to be successful. I knew I wanted to achieve greatness, but I didn't know where to start. And as I asked all these oldest individuals these questions, I realized this. If we can really begin with the end in mind, everything will start to come in order. And I became obsessed with manifestation. I was 21 years old. I learned about manifesting, visualizing, learning how to go ahead and start reading and listen to audios. And I came across all of these mentors. And I started applying these actions. I wasn't used to journaling. I started to journal. I was not a reader. I started getting into reading books. And my purpose, here's what happened, okay? Right before I graduated college, I'm sleeping in my car and I'm scrolling through Facebook. And you guys all know the story. My sister passed away from cancer. I finally saw the tag. And the moment she passed, that's when my purpose began. I'm not here to just exist. I'm here to have my last name ring and impact tens of generations to come. So I don't want anybody to wait till something drastic happens in your life for you to really identify what it is that your purpose is. That's why if you ever look at my post, if you ever see any of my content and you see Define Dreams, every time under my logo, it's going to say impact 1 billion. Because I realized that a long time ago. It only takes one candle to go light a billion other candles. So why don't we go be the light in such a dark piece of what's going on in the world right now? So that's the purpose, okay? Number 2 is going to be priorities. When the priorities shift, guess what? Everything starts to become in line. I stopped going out. I stopped partying. I stopped hanging out with negative influences. And I literally started picking up the book. I started journaling. I started listening to audios. I started going to the gym again, taking care of myself, becoming the best version of myself, inspiring others to do the exact same thing. And now when the priorities shift, guess what happens? We start taking massive action. How many of you guys, drop a 3 down below, when you guys have been on fire, when you've been in your flow state? How many of you, drop a 3 down below, if you've noticed how much time that we've wasted, the times that we have maybe been at a low vibration? Maybe you've been distracted. Maybe you've been hanging around with the wrong individuals. You guys ever been there? You ever been working on a project? You've just been flowing for like a week, 2 weeks straight. You didn't even think about it, but you noticed how much that you actually got done because we were focused. We were locked in. Our priorities were intact for that period of time. We've all done it. I promise you, whether it was with sports, school, a project, an event, we've all done this in life. But to be aware of this is a whole different frequency and level, right? Okay. So that's the three so far. Purpose, priorities, action, and guess what follows? Number 4 is going to be results. Now everybody sees, oh my goodness, how are you manifesting so many amazing things? Because guess what? The purpose started to get in line. The priority shifted. The action was completely different than what it was before. And now, whoo, quantum leaps. The bank account's looking different. And even, here's the deal. Even if all of these things haven't changed, like you're seeing some commas in your bank account, well, guess what? The only difference is it's a matter of time. That's it. That's literally the only difference. If you see individuals that are soaring by, you see, and you're like, man, how are they doing that? How is this happening for them? I can tell you most of the time, everybody thinks, well, it happened overnight. It didn't happen overnight. That was probably weeks, months, years of compounded effort that a lot of people, they didn't see behind the scenes. They didn't see the late nights where it was 1 a.m. They were studying. They were doing calls. They were up at 7 a.m. before everybody else, taking notes, hitting the gym, doing early meetings before anybody did anything before noon. They don't see that. So I promise you right now, don't let perception change your reality. Don't let your perception change your reality. Because I can promise you, the moment that you compare chapters with somebody else is the moment that you start to live in a vibration of, wow, I can't achieve success. They got lucky. That's not going to ever be able to happen to me. I know exactly what that feels like, but I can promise you this. If God bless our neighbor with the mail, it's only a matter of time before our mail is coming. I've experienced it. I've seen it. I know without a shadow of a doubt, every single one of you, it is here and on the way. So hold the vision, trust the process, and stick with the plan. Stick with the plan. Tony Robbins says the moment that you burn the boats is the moment that we really start to step into our greatness. So that is my training for today, fam. I hope you guys got a little piece of value, but I'm fired up. I've seen so many individuals literally over the past couple months, over the past couple years, go out and go from absolutely nothing, living in trailers, living in their cars, college students that are broke as a joke, to going out and impacting, serving, traveling, being able to really actually identify what it is that we're here to do. So I can give one last piece of gem that I've noticed for today. When the first quarter comes, when January 1st hits, okay, a lot of individuals, they're going to set their New Year's resolutions, but I'm going to tell you why nothing really manifests, okay? And I've been here too. I know exactly why, because this is myself. You see, if the identity doesn't change and the same actions are taken, nothing, it's going to be hard to create things. But when the identity shifts first, when we really start to believe that we can go out and achieve, everything starts to go ahead and become like a magnet. You hear me say it all the time, not just myself, Bob, Jim, Tony, we start attracting the right people, places, and opportunities into all different areas of our life. So family, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Drop some 5s down below for yourself. If nobody's told you lately, I know there's ups. I know there's downs. I know life hits from all different angles. And I've been there. I'm still going through it. And here's the one piece. It never ends. There's always going to be problems, but here's what I've noticed is getting around the 1%ers. You know what they talk about? There's 2 different types of realms. We have the 3D realm, which is right here, where yes, there might be good. Yes, there might be bad, but guess what? There's also a spiritual realm, a 5D realm, where this is almost like the God consciousness, where in that realm, there is no good, there is no bad. Everything is all one collective. So Sean Murphy, he said at 14 years old, I'll never have a bad day again in my life. And all that is perspective. Do character days happen? Absolutely. But even for myself, I've started to look at them as ways, how can I learn the lesson? How can I grow? And how can I take a piece of this to sharpen the sword so we can get 1% better for today? So I love you, fam. Remember, we can be, do, and have anything We can hold it in our mind. We can hold it right here in our hand. Have a blessed day. And remember, it's game time. Let's grow.